how to cut up a blah blah blah. This time I'm going to be cutting up a watermelon. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say this is the only way to cut up a watermelon, but it's my way. So as you see this series evolve, how to cut a blah 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 blah, that just means how I cut up something. Again, we have a nice watermelon, and I was told a long time ago the way to pick these is to try to find one that has a very sort of this sort of bruising on it from the sun. That means it's been sitting out a while and should be sweet on the inside. At least that's what I was told. So you want to find this nice spot on it, but you know, you never really know until you cut into them. So I don't do any of that knocking or any of that stuff. Let me get my serrated knife again. Now I'm gonna make a mess, but there are a few things I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need a container to put the watermelon into. And again, I'm gonna make a mess on this table, but it's a table, I'll just wipe it off. But let me grab a container. And before I do that, let me get a little bit more light in here. I got these two containers, which should work. Wash my hands. I've already wiped this off, which is something I like to do. You know, we always want to operate from a place of cleanliness. So the watermelon has been wiped off. Now, just like that pineapple video, I like to sort of give myself a base to start from. So I'm going to actually turn this on the side, and I'm going to turn it this way so you can see. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to the end of it, you know, two ends. One end I'm going to make flat by just cutting into it so that I can set this flat on the, I'm actually going to use a plate. So cut that part, trash. Go with one of the square plates. Now I can set this flat and work from a place of it being more secure. Actually, I'm just going to go against everything I just said, and I'm going to actually cut off, turn this to the side, and cut off the other end. There that is. Now I'm going to put it back. And now everything from here, I'm going to go from side to side. And I'm going to start with the side that it's on now. And I'm just going to be cutting off this, I call it the rind. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of cut it diagonally, because I'll be doing the other thing on the other side. So it'll almost be like I'm cutting in like a triangle. Here's my first cut. Yeah. Now, I ended up cutting off too much. So for this one, I'm gonna hold on to that. Okay, let's try this again. This is more what I wanted to do. You want to always come away with just a little bit. Just going from side to side. Okay, so now we've got one side done. Now I'm just going to go in and sort of clean up these edges on the top. Because none of this part will be sweet. And we don't want this part. I'm going to flip this over, and you see we have this top part of the rind that needs to be cut off, but we still have a sort of secure sort of standing for the watermelon. So now we're going to do the same thing. Just going to go diagonally and start cutting off the edges. Try not to go as deep as I went that first time. You can always go back and cut off more. Now back in the day when I was growing up, we would just cut watermelons down the middle, cut it like 4 ways or 3 ways, or we would make like watermelon steaks where they're just thin and just sort of slice them like that. So you always had a bit of the rind. It was more, cut like this, and you would just eat the watermelon out. But I did learn, for me, I like getting rid of the rind altogether, and just having the inside. So now I'm just cutting off those white edges again, if you see any. This is also a good time to sort of taste the watermelon. Just get a little bit. Kind of sweet. So now I have my 2 containers. And now I can just go ahead, after I cut off all these little white rind pieces, I can go ahead and just start cutting this up. So now I'm going to go ahead, cut it down the middle, and take one piece here. And now we'll start just cutting it into smaller pieces. This is all based on how small you want these pieces to be. We'll start putting these in the container. This way they're going to be ready to go, ready to eat. Take all the mess out of it at the beginning. And you won't have to worry with that later. I'm gonna need another container probably. Let me grab another container. I keep these pieces pretty big. You can even, break it apart if you want to. Clean this up a little bit. I'll cut up the other piece. All right, we got one more piece to cut up. And this is supposed to be seedless, but I always find seeds in the watermelon, even when it's supposed to be seedless. Like, how can they tell that the watermelon is seedless? So this is the end part, the easy part. You're just cutting up your watermelon, you know, putting it in a container or bags or however you're gonna do it. If you want to use it on, you know, salads, or if you want to make some sort of drink with the watermelon, now you have the pieces that are ready to go. Got my 3 containers here. Just need to get the tops. This one I'm actually going to leave out and going to maybe try to take out a little bit of this and eat that. These are all going to go in the refrigerator. So I got 1, I got 2, got 3. Now I'm going to clean up. Let me give you a close-up look of this, not of me. So here you see we have the finished pieces of watermelon. Just got to get the container tops, and these are going to the refrigerator. And this is a really good snack. Of course, there's a lot of water in it, which is why it's called a watermelon, and a lot of sugar. But it is a natural snack, and to me it's healthy. You can also use these in your smoothies. Again, I mentioned salads earlier. I've even seen people starting to grill and cook watermelon, and sort of giving it a little grill marks on it, either over the fire on the grill or maybe under the broiler in the oven. So yeah, and when you do that, you will release a lot more of that sweetness of the watermelon. So yeah, I really enjoy watermelon throughout the year, not just in the summer, but this is it. Thank you for allowing me to cut this watermelon up. Let me know if you have any questions. And again, if you get a watermelon and you want to cut it up, please cut it up however is best for you. I'm just showing you how I do it and how I prefer to cut up a watermelon. Again, thank you for watching, and please join me next week for another video.